and welcome to the Business Spotlight. I'm your host, Patrick Dewar. I have a fabulous show today. You're really going to learn something today. I was really blown away as I looked into this topic and began to see just how much it impacts our world. We're going to visit with Terri Suresh. Terri's the CEO and founder of Hormonal Health and Wellness Centers in the DFW area. She has created a product and a service and touching a lot of lives by use of hormone therapy. So with that, Terri, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I am really interested in this for lots of the obvious reasons that I learned on your website and in your webinar and things of that nature. So tell me your story and how'd you get into this?
Well, I am a mother of 4 girls, first of all.
Ow.
I've been in the hormone business, if you will, for about 27 years. But I started my career as a nurse, as a registered nurse in labor and delivery, and, you know, kind of on the front end of the life cycle, if you will. And it evolved, and I got through into emergency medicine, and a resonating thing that I kept seeing over and over is there's just a lot of lack of information for women in multiple different stages of our lives.
Right.
And I was, working my 3rd long and night shift in a row in the emergency room, and honestly, I was sitting there thinking, there's got to be a better life than this. I'm dying here. And I had always had a dream of opening a women's wellness center, and I thought, well, how can I start that? And the #1 thing that I could think of was Botox. And
Nice.
So I went and did some training and started my practice basically as a medical aesthetics center, and started doing some more really interesting training in the anti-aging world, and started learning about bioidentical hormones and how that can change lives. And honestly, I saw a physician speak at a big conference, and she was speaking to hormone balance, and she told some stories about changing some of her patients' lives. And I really knew at that minute that's what I needed to be doing.
Right.
And it just felt like the right thing. So I learned everything I could and came back and brought it to my practice, and it's just exploded since
Absolutely.
then, so.
That's really great. One of the word there that you use that may not be common to a lot of people, bioidentical
Right.
hormones. What is that?
Bioidentical hormones are basically natural, or they're identical in molecular or chemical structure to human hormones. So our body really recognizes it as such. And they've actually been around for many, many decades. They're the oldest form of hormone therapy. The Chinese have been using yam and soy for hormones for centuries. We're a little slow on the uptake here in this country, but we're getting there. Pioneers like Suzanne Summers and some other women have really brought bioidentical hormone back into the realm of something that's being talked about over the past decade. But basically, it really is just a hormone and chemical structure that our body recognizes natural, so it just works much better without all of the untoward side effects that we see in some of the other conventional forms of hormone.
Now, when it comes to hormone therapy, I know that earlier in, I want to say this century, as in 2000s,
Right.
They had some issues because of the synthetic hormones that were out there.
Right.
But I noticed on your website that you don't use anything synthetic like
Right.
that.
Well, we don't use anything synthetic in our practice. Unfortunately, what's happened with hormones in general is over this past decade, actually, or this century, like you said, there's been a lot of studies that have come out that have really been giving hormones negative press. And what's happened is we've started to umbrella all hormones, whether they're synthetic or natural, just under this umbrella of hormones.
Right.
So a lot of people are really afraid of hormones because they're not separating the two. And so one of my biggest passions is really educating, dispelling myths. I write, I blog, I speak, and really bringing the right answers, answering all the questions that people have about hormones in general. But yes, you're correct. We use pure natural hormone therapy in our practice.
And the thing that I was really surprised is that you have branched out to really touching men with hormone therapy as well. What began to attract the men?
Well, that's a great question, and it's a really simple answer. The women were feeling so great. You know, when we're both going along in life and we're both miserable, we're both miserable. And then when one of us feels really good, it's very obvious that the other person doesn't feel so good. So mainly those women were dragging their husbands in going, help him. I feel great. I have all this energy. You know, my libido is great. He's not matching where I'm at. So, and that is, their opposite can be true too. I have a lot, probably about 30% of my patients are males now. But the relationship piece of it is really key. When we don't feel well, we really, it shows in our relationships. You know, when we feel poorly, we unfortunately tend to take it out on those who we care about the most.
Right.
And so this therapy has been really profound for relationship health as well. So it's more than just the feel good, and I really love to speak to that as well.
Well, one of the things that I want to get into as we go into the next segments is really talking about how many areas that this hormone therapy affects. So I know that we're coming up to a break here, and I'll tell you guys want to stick around because, and gals, because this is huge. It will change your life. I've seen from the testimonials, and I'm looking forward to more coming. So with that, we'll be right back.